Hello everyone, thanks for clicking on today's video. My name is Sissy and I love arts and crafts and sharing my silly thoughts on random things. I have a love-hate relationship with embroidery, needlepoint, and cross stitch. Yes, they are all different, well, except maybe embroidery and needlepoint, correct me if I'm wrong. And sometimes I absolutely love them and sometimes I absolutely loathe them. Basically, I have to be in the mood, which seems to be a recurring theme in my videos, doesn't it? There is still a cross stitch that I've been working on for literal decades at this point, just because I can't bring myself to keep the attention span long enough to finish it. Perhaps I'll do a video on it someday if I can get back to it. I'm trying to finish projects I started because I am notorious for not finishing projects. I get excited about a new one, but sometimes my heart just isn't into it. I know I said in another video that I detest hand sewing, which you are probably thinking right now, well, Sissy, you said you don't like hand sewing, so why are you doing embroidery? Good question. I like the look of embroidery, to be honest, and although it is tedious, I enjoy the end result. I guess with hand sewing, I feel like the point of that is to be practically invisible and to look so uniform, and I have difficulty doing that. I almost said I can't, but never say you can't do anything. So I guess that's how I differentiate. You might be saying, isn't this similar? Yes, it is similar. It is a little different though, because in this sense, the embroidery creates a picture, and I don't know, I feel like I can tolerate it more than hand sewing a dress together or something. I don't think I'd do well in the days before sewing machines. Ooh, that would be a fun topic, the history of sewing machines. Today's background video is embroidery, but unfortunately it's not a large one, so hopefully I can stick with it long enough to finish the piece. I do love almost all arts and crafts, but sometimes there are certain ones that just don't keep my attention. Let's see how this one goes. Today's topic is all about family game nights. My family has always been super close, and growing up, we were never really that family who couldn't get together to have meals or do things as a family. However, do you guys remember that commercial that went around on TV for a while? Maybe it was even by Hasbro, I don't know, where family game night was promoted for those families who had a hard time getting together and doing things as a family? Well, my brother saw that commercial, got into it. I get his idea now. I was annoyed then, and wanted the family to have a quote unquote family game night. Even my mom was kind of annoyed by it, saying that those family game nights were for families who didn't eat together and didn't do things together and went off, but she never said anything to my brother. To my brother, she always smiled and made my dad come out of his office and us all get together and play a game. Because it was his idea, my brother was usually the one who picked the game. And you know what he picked? Nothing quick or simple like a card game or something like that. No, he would choose games like Monopoly or Risk, games that never, ever end. Ever. Did I mention they never end? No, I do not think of myself as having a short attention span. I can sit for hours doing things I like to do, like knitting or sewing, whatever. You can see from my videos that I heavily condense. However, I cannot sit for long for these kinds of games. You might think it's because it's my brother and it was his idea, and therefore I just don't want to do it. I used to think so too, but then I recently picked out Monopoly to play with my husband and friends, and not even an hour into the game, I was looking at the clock, fidgeting in my seat, and acting like a toddler. I just can't. And you know what's funny about this is that I can sit and do a jigsaw puzzle forever. No joke, no problem. So maybe it's the game, if you can call a puzzle a game. My mom has zero patience for puzzles, but I can do them all day long, especially if I put on a movie, light a candle, get a nice cup of tea, wrap a blanket around me, have that puzzle on the coffee table in front of me. Ooh, you know what's even better? When it's raining outside and I can feel so cozy. That's like one of the best feelings. I love it. Yes, call me basic. I will own it. Anyway, back to my story. My brother would pick so many long games, and the nights would grow long, and we would always sit on the floor in the living room. And I remember either lying down on the side of the game, totally zoning out and nodding off, or I would purposefully try to lose just so I could finish the game. It usually worked because my brother is extremely competitive and I just don't care. Sometimes my mom and dad would be like, no, we cannot finish this game. It's going for way too long. But usually I feel like they too would secretly cheat and let my brother win just so he could be done with the game, though they might argue they didn't do that. What was funny about those game nights was the fact that when we were done with school for the day, we would run out to my dad's bungalow where he worked. He worked from home, and we would turn on the TV, blow off the cartridge, and turn on good old Nintendo 64 to play some Mario Kart or what was the other game called? Star Fox, I think. We had a few games, but I think those were our favorites. We played them a lot. Oh, and Donkey Kong. I always play Yoshi in Mario Kart. He's my character. Do you ever have that one that you play? One of my brothers chooses totally random, but the rest of us tend to pick our favorite player. So we were playing games all the time, but I really do think it was the commercial that encouraged my brother to have a family game night. For some reason, it was appealing to him. He's always liked group family things, though. He's one of those people, which is totally fine. I'm not knocking family activities, I enjoy them myself. However, I'm not sure if I'm always the one to suggest the family activity. Today, I would say life hasn't changed a whole lot. We all live in different houses, but my husband and I occasionally get with my brothers or brothers and parents at times to play a board game or play a game on the Nintendo Switch now. Makes me laugh. I don't know if board games have changed a whole lot, though. We did play what I thought was a fancy version of Battleship the other day. The game like yells at you and has noises and all sorts of things, which I don't remember playing as a kid. Video games have obviously evolved, but I feel like the concentrated furrowed brow has never gone away when you're really into the game, or when someone throws their controller down in frustration, or when you are racing someone, you both scream at the TV screen and everyone else around you is cheering both of you on because obviously they want both of you to win. I don't think those kinds of emotions will ever change, no matter what the games become. Heck, we do those things on the board games too. We played a horror board game recently, and I actually squealed when it was discovered my character died. And my husband got so into the game, he created a whole backstory for his character, complete with an accent. My husband and I have gone to parties with friends where we all make fools of ourselves, aided with adult beverages, of course, when singing karaoke or playing Guitar Hero. It's fun. Playing games, whatever the game is, really is a way for friends and family to gather, to put aside their cell phones and social media and whatever else they are on and do something fun together. Make those silly memories and embarrass yourself. I am epically bad at any game that requires an accent or body movement of some kind to guess what I or others are doing. I'm so notorious, in fact, that people are hesitant to put me on their team. But you know what? That is totally fine with me. I love watching the game and participating in the sidelines as much as I like to be a part of the game. What I love about games as well is that so many can be taken with you when you go places. My husband and I enjoy cruising, and one of his favorite activities are the games like trivia, crossword, Sudoku challenges in the game rooms where you play a board game or do a jigsaw puzzle. My family likes to go out of town together during the holidays, and one of us almost always brings a game. Last year, my husband and I brought puzzles and a few versions of, yes, Monopoly to play. We only made it through one version of Monopoly, and it lasted days. I'm not even kidding. I have to say that although some games do seem to go on forever and ever and ever, the memories that come with those games are priceless. What kind of games do you enjoy playing? What fond memories do you have playing games with others, whether it was years ago or yesterday? I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for listening. Please like and subscribe. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you again soon.